Hey there, my name's Jordan Ross. I'm the founder and CEO of the Founders Factory, where we turn CEOs and founders into high-performing business owners. In this video, I'm going to show you how we help these founders and CEOs do just that. I'm going to show you how we work for you and some of the methodologies, templates, and systems where we've turned businesses into business machines, churning out consistent 8 and 7-figure revenues. So without further ado, let's dive in where I'm going to demo how this system and process actually works for you. And you're going to be able to leave this video with a clear idea. Is this someone I want to talk to further to discuss my business? So we're going to dive in. I'm going to share my screen. Now, what we have here is the 411. So with every single person I connect with and start with, we go over usually goals or org chart first. I'm going to show you the goals because this makes sense for a lot of business owners. Every single business that I work with seems to have a shortcoming when it turns from goal setting into action planning. What I start with all of my business owners is where are we going to be in 12 months? And the majority of people I work with are in that 400 to 700,000 annualized revenue range, and they want to break past that $1 million mark. So with that 85K range, we break this down. So what you see here is actually a breakdown of an organization I spoke to this past week. They did about 450,000 in the last 12 months. And the big thing with them is we figured out they don't have a system for creating predictable revenue, and they need to go live with their program on the B2B enterprise side. And the biggest thing that we broke down on the weekly basis was having a formalized referral system. So we helped them ideate, if we're going to be at 85K monthly recurring by the end of the next 12 months, what do we need to do in the next 30? What do we need to do in the next week? I call this the 401, stands for 4 weeks, 1 month, 1 year. And this is where we start with all my business owners, either on this side or we do an org chart audit to really see from a high level, where are you and your shortcomings in your business? So once we get acclimated, and if we feel like the criteria is met, if we feel like we can work with one another, clients start to get onboarded. If you're a client, you're going to fill out the form where I'm really going to get a full understanding what's going on in your business, right? So some of the most important areas is, right, where are you at? What's your monthly recurring revenue? What do you actually offer, right? How many people on your team? And then here's the big one, like, what are you currently using? So I think there's a handful of different things from CRM, inputs, focus, processes, goals, offer. All of these things really help me understand from a high level where it is you are in your business. Once you have that filled out, we get clarity. Where do you need to improve your business? Let's just say this guy was sales. And in that space, what's wrong? We can't close over 20% of leads, right? So once we have this process set up, there's more questions. I get an understanding with you, where are we at in our business? And now we have officially started the onboarding process. From this point, we really begin what I like to call the roadmap, or I like to call it the bridge, right? So specifically, we will map out where are we today and where are we going, right? So those questions that I ask in that form give me a clear understanding of all the areas in your business you feel like you're not structured, don't have processes, are not focused well enough. And then we create specifically what it is we need to build out, at least in the next 90 days, to have a successful partnership. I'm your accountability partner. I'm the systems guy. So I'm going to help you build the right systems and change the culture of how you do business to really drive these end results. So once we have that specific end goal in mind, right, of where we're going, we create what I like to say a dashboard, right? So this is different for every client, but I have 4 different areas that my clients need to focus on. So The first one is growth in 411. So you already saw the 411, but there are specific actions that need to get done on a weekly basis. I call this the most important work. We have operational work, administrative work, and daily habits and daily standard work. These are the 4 buckets I group everything into in a business. And if you're a business owner with a team of anywhere between 5 and 20, this is a great place to focus because it really helps group and help you mentally construct where is my time going. You must execute the 411, the growth action items on a weekly basis. If you can't do that, you can't expect to grow, right? Because these are the things that move your business forward. So we build this out together and we get clarity on where you're going. So we have where you are, we have where you're going, and then we build the bridge, right? This dashboard, this template, this system. Some people use Trello, some people use Monday, some people use Asana, some people use Notion, right? It's really about building your specific game plan and then rolling it out in your company. So once we actually have clarity on what we need to do, from there, we start talking about accountability. So I meet with my clients on a weekly basis, every single week, to really help them move the needle forward and resolve anything that's not moving with momentum. So this is just a quick snippet of one of the forms I have you fill out on a weekly basis. What were last week's commitments and results, right? So from what we said we were going to build and create and adjust, what did we do? What didn't get done? What challenges are we facing? And then what are we going to be using this session for, right? So I work with my clients, at least at the start, on a 90-day trial basis to make sure I feel you out and you get to feel me out, right? Are we a good fit to grow your business to that 7, multi-7 and 8-figure range, right? Depending on where you are. This on a weekly basis just increases the level of accountability because as a founder, as a CEO, you don't have anyone you report to. You don't have a formalized structure of answering to anyone besides yourself. This form of accountability just raises the standard of expectation because you're talking about it every day. And I like to say what we put energy towards increases, but what we track increases exponentially. So once we have accountability, right, laid out, and we have absolute clarity on a weekly basis on what we're building, we really get into refining your business. And one of the most important things that I am such an advocate of is driving business with data. It surprises me so often how many businesses are not driven with data. The businesses I work with that are 7-figure businesses, they have data, at least a little bit of data that they're using. 6-figure businesses usually aren't. So what we implement is different input focused metrics to drive data. So this is one example of lead generation, marketing, and systems that I help integrate with my clients. I call it the 7-figure calculator. So if you take these 2 numbers on the right, 38 and 46, that equals $85,000 monthly recurring. And this template helps people figure out how many people do I need to touch base with per week. So what you actually can't see here, a cut off, on the bottom of this calculator shows from an outbound campaign perspective, pretending that this was the only type of lead gen strategy we have, how much new business do we need to generate? What's the average recurring package I sell? For my closing percentage, how many people show up to my first calls, and how many people actually get on the phone or sales call with me? It populates what you don't see here, a number you need to hit every month. I think in this example is 2,200 people in this campaign that this business need to hit per month. And from a business of lead generation and marketing to sales to operations to retention, fulfillment, everyone should have a number. In this example, the marketing and lead generation was 2,200, but depending on where you are, if you don't have an input focus, like what we can control as a business, you're losing the game. So this is one of the really important pieces I integrate with all of my clients. So we're data driven. Once we have the right data, once we have the right information, we really need to formalize our processes. So I have two different examples of what a SOP, a standard operating procedure, can look like. But I like to say if you want to build a 7, multi-7, and eventually 8-figure business, you need to have airtight SOPs, standard operating procedures. So airtight that a fucking monkey should be able to take an SOP and execute what you need them to. One of the things I'm really passionate about with my entrepreneurs and business owners is in their businesses, these SOPs should be written out should have pictures, what you see on the left, and then we should also have a Loom video, or in this case, a Zoom video that shows each person, depending on their unique learning style, what to do. Because some people like written word, some people need pictures, and some people need to see you do it. So do you have an SOP or training library where your team can go to if they have a question, instead of knocking on your door, instead of knocking on your COO, instead of knocking on your project manager, can they just go execute it by referring to what I call the question bank, the FAQ bank, the training library? So this is something really important that I build out with all my entrepreneurs, because if you don't have standard operating procedures, your procedures will never get standardized and you'll never grow. So beyond this piece, we start to build our data dashboard. This is an example of a client of mine where they're a marketing and lead gen business. They actually are a white label company, so they don't have to worry about the operational side. So their dashboard only has sales. So what are the new sales? And the two big ones are lead data and pipeline. So in their business, you can see that they specifically focus on Instagram, LinkedIn, Clubhouse, referral, right? Those are just 4 examples of where they're getting leads right now. But they are tracking those inputs, and what they actually have beyond this are different charts and different spreadsheets that are funneling into this, where they can track it on a lower level. So you as a business owner should be able to come in on a Monday, look at your dashboard and know, am I on track to hit this month's goal or not? What I like to say is, if our goal is 85K, I don't give a shit about what we end the month on. I give a shit about what we did during the month. Do we know our data, and do we know why it did or didn't work? And can we use that to adjust our approach and get to where we need to be? I think so many business owners just don't articulate and don't help their team know, this is what we need to focus on. Here are the 2 things we need to focus on this week. Go execute. So many business owners, I think, just kind of get lost in the commotion, right? In the action. So these are some of the things that I build with everyone, right? And I'm just going to give you a high level. We build the roadmap, we build the action plan and the dashboard to track our actions and our team's actions. We have accountability to ensure we're executing. We have a sounding board. We have a process and a container where we integrate new and introduce new templates, approaches. We really focus on data. We focus on using our data to refine our process, improve our process, standardizing our process, and finally, being able to look at a high level how our process is working for us. So if this is something you feel like you want in your business, you want a systematic approach to growing your organization, whether it's on lead gen, operations, training, fulfillment, retention, sales, book a call with me. What you'll see in the comments below, I have my Calendly where I would be happy to chat with you about your business, give you a free consultation, break your business down, see what is and what's not working, and give you a roadmap. And then the worst case scenario, you can walk away with a tangible action plan. And in the best case scenario, you start to grow with momentum to 10x your business. So thank you for hanging out with me today, checking out what we do for you, what I do for you at the Founders Factory. And I look forward to seeing you soon using the call below.